Hello, my loves, and welcome back to Along This Spiritual Journey. You know what I find interesting is the process of discernment. When speaking to other people, I have recognized that people are always going to be obsessed with tone. Tone is tone, it's how it sounds coming out of your voice, it sounds or makes the sound of whatever you're listening to, right? That makes you feel drawn into it, the tone. Then there's the delivery, right? Delivery is the genre. So just like there's many different genres of music, there's many different artists within that genre and they have many different tones. All can be saying the same message, but if the tone is different and the delivery is different, the message will be received differently. This I have come to comprehend very well, especially when you're dealing with emotion work. The problem that I have run into with most people when it comes to reconditioning their emotions or reprogramming their consciousness is that their discernment is all over the place. They don't know how to read the room. They don't know how to read the face language. They don't know how to read the body language. They don't even know how to read the invitation, right? There's just some people, they see the invite and just show up. Didn't say, oh, I was supposed to bring something. I was supposed to dress a certain way. Oh, and then they don't think it through and judge like, should I still show up this way? I'm just gonna do what I want to do. And so this is where you get people stuck in that loophole of trying to figure out if someone meant something they said based on their tone and delivery. The only time I feel tone and delivery truly matter is when it's in a life or death situation. Help! I need help! Right? It's in a professional setting. Hey, could you please get this done because at this time we have a deadline and da 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 da. I would like this done by EOD. Whatever, right? In everyday life situations, people should be able to talk however they want. I don't care if someone sounds like they sound bitter, but they're speaking really kind. That's their voice, whatever. If someone from a different country or state has a different demographic of understanding of how they speak and they use a certain word and it's not the way that it's normally used, right? Normal. I don't care. All I care about is the message able to be received. This is one of the things I learned when I used to work in the hospital is you're going to have people who were nonverbal or didn't speak the language and you still had to find a way to communicate with them without their voice, without their tone, without the delivery, just understanding body language, reading the room and messaging. I would then have to use my discernment to figure out what it is this person needs, wants, and desires. This is when you start understanding how to pay attention to empathy. Empathy tells you, well, I don't know if I'm doing what they need right, but in this situation, if I gauge the room and the environment, well, I see the window shades are open, the sun's blaring in their face, they're laying in the bed, they can't get up. Okay, I see that their water pitcher is empty. Okay, so let me take care of that. And I see that they're uncovered. So in all situations, I would cover the window, right? I would make sure the person's comfortable in bed, give them the covers enough that they can feel covered, and go get them some new water. Now, maybe that was or wasn't what they needed, but in that moment, I used discernment to at least try to make them comfortable so that they can find a way to deliver the message to me. Had I walked in and I just assumed, like, oh, they're not saying anything, they don't need anything, let me just walk away. This is where people are starting to lose track on how to be human. This is how we don't know how to read the room. This is why emotional intelligence is a thing. You can be the most logical person in the world, and I've said this time and time again. If you don't know how to read the room, it doesn't matter. Because you'll either say too much, do too much, or walk into a situation that might put you into harm if you're not paying attention, right? It's knowing that if you, because there's some people out there I've noticed where they might not say it the way I like to hear it, and they may have a tone that I am not used to hearing as a grown man. But guess what? In their world, they're used to using that voice. And you know what I do? I don't assimilate to what they're telling me to do. I just listen to what they need first. And then I comprehend what they want from me. And if I'm able to deliver that through my discernment, then I will deliver that. I will give that to them. If it is based solely on their ego and they think because they use a certain tone and a certain delivery that I'm supposed to just get up and move, that ain't gonna happen. Because this is how people get themselves hurt, trusting tone and delivery over the actual message, right? I've seen many people do it. It's a drill. It's a drill. Oh my God, it's a drill. This is the real thing. Oh my God, I thought it was a drill. Ah, and you know, by the time people get around to giving the message, people don't believe it because they don't believe in the messaging because the tone and the delivery were always in a panic and a rush, but it was a drill. And then when it's the real deal, people are like, oh, they're using the same tone and the same messaging. I don't have the same haste today because it's normally just a drill, but today it's real. You know what I mean? Like I'm taking it deeper than it might need to go, but I'm trying to get to the point of I like having a tool to use when I'm working through emotions, so I try to give myself visuals. Visuals are the most beneficial key to walking through your energy without falling back into old timelines. What happens is people allow themselves to fall into old timelines when they don't heal themselves and they go back into trigger moments. So like, let's say if I say, hey, can you pass me that? And somebody went, can you say please? What does it matter? Did I say, pass me that right now? No, I didn't. I used a pleasant tone. I gave a directive and you can follow it or not. But when people start taking it personal and they're not judging the situation, they take it as disrespect and then it becomes this thing that it does not have to be, right? It's important to recognize when you are trying to convey a message, think about what you want the message to be. Because you're not going to always be able to control your emotions and things are going to come out in a way that you just can't really articulate. And that's when you get people who get really frustrated. They're like, oh, you stupid head, right? They don't know what to say. They freeze or they get analysis paralysis. And you know what I mean? And versus knowing how to walk through that energy and understand that I'm not worried about the tone. I'm not worried about the delivery. What was the message? What did I need to hear out of that? Was there anything I needed to hear that would help me move forward, protect me, nurture me, whatever the case may be? What was the message? So be mindful of how you receive messaging through discernment. Don't just rely on tone and don't just rely on delivery. Because even though those are very important to social decorum and appeasing someone's ego, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're delivering a real message. There's a ton of people on here, and this is not me picking to say like, oh, I think I'm better than. No, there's a ton of people who have a professional tone and have a professional cadence, but they ain't talking about nothing. And you got somebody that you might not normally listen to because their tone of delivery is off, but they giving you straight jewels, straight facts. And so this is how discernment tricks people into trusting people who they think is better just based on how they're saying it. Don't let yourself fall into this trap as a human. We are done with the whole fox sitting in the house waiting for the pigs to come blow, you know what I mean? The huff and puff, whoever it was it Little Red Riding Hood? Let's not be that, okay? Let's not put ourselves in situations where we understand that we have to have discernment. And the things that we decide on are the things that are going to then bring back the byproduct and actions of how we then create our reality, right? Because if I'm out here misjudging people's tones and misjudging their delivery, and really they're trying to help me and give me a message because, again, my trauma from when I'm young might be blocking it out. I might be like, well, once they talked to me like that when I was a kid, and now I can't listen. And then you be like, why is everyone attacking me? I'm just talking. I'm just being myself. And it's like, that's true, but you have to still understand what is the message. Because if you're only listening for people's tone and delivery, then you're only listening for validation. That is my opinion. If you're listening for the message, then you're listening for the intent. Because, again, I love it if someone walks up to me politely and says it, hey, could you do this? But if it's in a life or death situation and they're walk up to me and just yelling at me, I have to read the room and be like, they're not trying to be rude. They're trying to get me out of a situation that might be dangerous. Okay, so learn discernment and tone and delivery. All right, love you. Message.